Okay, good afternoon and welcome. We're going to get started here. For those in the back, if you want to stay in the shade, some of you, that's great. As long as you can hear, I think that's great. Again, for those of you that are starting to feel hot, Herky's there, and he's probably hottest of everybody. We don't want anybody to pass out here, even though we probably got plenty of medical folks around here. There's bottled water up here, so please come on up and help yourself to some bottled water. Good afternoon and welcome to the official groundbreaking ceremonies of the Iowa River Landing Reinvestment District. My name is Josh Schamberger, and for the past 17 years, I've had the honor to represent this community as president of the Iowa City and Coralville Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I am excited to serve as today's MC as we celebrate this monumental groundbreaking for the city of Coralville, a development that will produce benefits far beyond the city. I'm joined here today by not only a distinguished group of speakers, but a host of area, state, and local elected officials. And I've done my absolute best with Ellen Hobble to get an eye on everyone that is here. So if I've missed you, I'll ask you to raise your hand at the end here. I do know that we're joined by two supervisors from Johnson County, Janelle Reddig and Lisa Green Douglas. Right here's Janelle. Mike Carberry's right there, I see. And Lisa's right over there. Thank you for being here. Mayor Louise Fromm is here from the city of University Heights. Thank you, Mayor, for being here. Dave Lesh is here somewhere from Representative Loebsack's office. There he is right there, Dave. Thank you for being here. Is there anybody else I missed? I don't want to... Herky, I know you're here. Thank you. Oh, Mayor Throgmorton is here from the city of Iowa City. Thank you, Mayor, for being here. We're also joined by Kim Casco with the Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce, Mark Nolte with the Iowa City Area Development, and Pete Mathis with President Harrell's office. Thank you all for being here. While not all will speak here today, please note that this entire development and really this entire Iowa River Landing would not have been possible without the strong collaboration of Coralville's neighboring cities, Johnson County, and their many friends and partners at the University of Iowa. On behalf of the city of Coralville, thank you for being here today. As has been reported many times, the redevelopment of the Iowa River Landing has been part of the city of Coralville's master plan going back to the late 80s and early 90s. On June 2nd, 2005, just about 100 yards from here, I was fortunate to have joined the city of Coralville at the groundbreaking ceremonies for the inaugural Iowa River Landing redevelopment anchor, the Coralville Marriott Hotel and Conference Center. And what a success this development has been for this community. Not just for the city of Coralville, but for the entire community. 13 years later, our community has benefited from almost countless conferences, sporting events, conventions, and special events. Events that would not otherwise have come to this community. And those groups have deposited tens of millions of dollars in visitor expenditures into area businesses and organizations over these past 13 years. If you build it, they will come, as the old baseball movie saying goes. And the city of Coralville built that conference center and hotel, and boy, have they come to the benefit of all area businesses. That project represented the beginning of the Iowa River Landing Reinvestment District. 10 years later, after that groundbreaking, the Iowa Economic Development Authority certified the Iowa River Landing Reinvestment District, which officially set into motion the final development phase of the Iowa River Landing. That designation is one of the key reasons we celebrate today's groundbreaking of the district's final anchor tenant, the Iowa Arena and Fieldhouse. Here to begin the program is someone from Coralville who needs no introduction, a resident and former university leader who, along with his wife Diana, have been a big part of the shaping of this Iowa River Landing vision from those earliest discussions. Please help me welcome and congratulate Coralville Mayor John Lindell.
Thank you very much, Josh. What a terrific afternoon this is, and just another in what has been a long tradition of great events happening in Coralville. And about the only thing better than this I can think of is in about 2 years when we're cutting that ribbon to open the front doors of the arena. So please come back for that as well. I'd like to start off by first saying that I have the pleasure to serve as mayor, but I've got an outstanding city council that backs me up, and we're a team, and we all work together, and that's why we're successful. All 5 council members are here. Jill Dodge, Megan Foster, Lori Goodrich, Tom Gill, and Mitch Gross. So thank you for being a great team. I couldn't do my job without them. And of course, there's many very important staff here, but I have to call out Kelly Hayworth, our city administrator, and Ellen Hobble, our assistant city administrator. And so thank you, and thank you for the rest of the staff that makes us such a great place to work and live. But now I'd like to also, I have to give kudos to 2 particular people that are not solely, but incredibly responsible for what we're doing today. One is our MC, Josh Schamberger. Josh has worked countless hours on this. It's just been his passion. And I know it's really been a great, it's part of his job as a Convention Visitors Bureau, but he has gone far beyond what would be expected to make this happen. He's made countless overnight trips to Sioux City, you name it. And Josh, you've really been a vision and an inspiration to help us get this along. And then, of course, the second is Kelly Hayworth. He has been a part of our city for almost 30 years. On August 8th of this year, it'll be 30 years, which is incredible for a city administrator to be in one community. And boy, he brought with him a vision that has never stopped. And that's what's gotten us here today, these 30 years. He has also, along with Josh, worked his tail off in particular on this project. And there have been certainly a number of starts and stops, as there are in any project of this magnitude, but he always had the knowledge and the foresight and the imagination to see through any challenges and make sure that we got to what we're doing today. So I'd like to just very quickly, for those of you in the audience that don't realize what this area used to be like, I was asked to give just a very quick sort of recap of what it used to be. This whole Iowa River landing from here up to the interstate was back in the 80s and before was an incredibly blighted area. It was certainly not what the community wanted your first impression to be of Coralville when you came in off of Interstate 80 to visit the hospital or go to the University of Iowa or go shopping in Coralville. In fact, if you couldn't probably have designed a less attractive gateway into the community. There was junkyards, adult entertainment businesses, perceived environmental issues. It just was not what we wanted. And thankfully, back in the 1980s, and not coincidentally, around the time Kelly arrived, the city did goal setting and identified redeveloping this entryway into the community to something beautiful as their top priority. And they held community meetings, and the community was behind that full steam. So there have been a lot of council members that have worked on this throughout the years, and hopefully some are in the audience, and I'd like to really give a shout out to them as well. So we've come a long ways, in probably the first, and I don't know how many of you will remember this, but one of the first projects we danced with for a major development down here was the Rainforest Project. And that was in 2003, and it's a very unique project, but some work out and some didn't, and that didn't, but that's okay, because look what we've got today. Of course, as Josh mentioned, the Marriott came around in 2006, followed quickly by Von Mauer, Homeward Suites, the Back Pocket, and then a huge addition in 2012, October 2012, was the Iowa River Landing Clinics, IRL hospital clinics here. And Dr. Boutros, who's in the audience, was just telling me a couple minutes ago, they're exceeding now 1,500 people a day going into that clinic. So it's a phenomenal success, and what a great partner to have with us in this endeavor. And then, of course, there's been a number of housing projects that really add a place for this district for people that want to live this. And the housing has really added life to this IRL district, and it's extremely popular. And there's a number of people, including Gary Watts, that are responsible for that, and we really appreciate it. And then probably the most notable, most recent thing that opened was Trader Joe's. That was something that folks asked us for years and years and years, and we worked hard to get to where we finally were able to open that last October. So I would just like to close by thanking our partners. And some of these I've already mentioned, but they're certainly worth mentioning again. Leading off with the University of Iowa. What a great partner they are to this community. Not only with the University of Iowa Healthcare Initiative, that's been a great addition, but with this project as well. You'll hear a little bit later, I think Gary Barda is going to speak about ways that the university's athletics is being incorporated into our new arena. And so we can't overstate the importance of the University of Iowa. I have to thank the Johnson County supervisors for the support that Johnson County provided this project. Without their money, we would not have been able to leverage some critical grants. And so they have really made this possible and have really enhanced the museum aspects of this project. Of course, we've got great state partners in Des Moines, the State of Iowa Reinvestment District Program. That's what, as Josh mentioned again, that's what really kicked us into high gear when that program was developed to get us started to move forward with this project. And again, there'll be folks from Des Moines that will be speaking a couple minutes later about that. The Iowa Business Growth, the federal new market tax credit allocation. Again, very unique. It took some visioning by Kelly and others to come up with this source of funding, but it's a critical source. And then there are several other individual companies and individuals that have made significant contributions, including the Watts Group, the Hodge Construction have been an incredible partner. Mid-America Energy has been very generous with us. The Promote Iowa City Area, our local destination marketing fund. And then there are several that wish to remain anonymous that have made significant contributions to this project. So, it's the old worn-out theme, but it does take a village to make things happen, and we're a great group. So I think I better cut it off before you guys start fainting out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Lundell, for your continued leadership. It was perfect, 5 minutes. And that of the City Council. Our next speaker also needs no introduction to anyone from this community or in many cases the state. As the Press Citizen wrote in last month's feature, you would have a tough time finding anyone in District 37 who doesn't respect Bob Dvorsky. Senator Dvorsky just recently concluded 24 years in the Iowa Senate. Before that, 8 years in the Iowa House and 7 years on the Coralville City Council. Senator Dvorsky's deft hand is all over the city of Coralville and our community. He's been an instrumental partner in development of the Iowa River Landing and this reinvestment district in particular. Please help me welcome and thank Senator Bob Dvorsky.
I guess I should quote while I'm ahead, but anyway, good afternoon, everyone. This is an amazing turnout, an amazing group here. I don't see Keith Jones here, but maybe he's in the back somewhere. But we do have a little slogan in Coralville. The slogan is, just can't hide that Coralville pride. And today, more than any time, I think we've got that. So I want to thank everyone who was associated with this, including Kelly and Josh and everyone else who worked tirelessly to get this going. And there, as they said, there were stops and starts and everything else, but they knew when to actually hire competent people to help them. We have some good consultants here who have really done a great job, good architects, everything else. So they're moving everything forward. I'm supposed to talk a little bit about what additional quality of life we're going to get from the arena here. And I think, its impact is going to be tremendous in the whole area. We want to make certain this is a community arena. This is for Coralville and the Coralville area for people to use this arena and take pride in it. So we're going to have Big Ten volleyball, right, Mr. Barda? And maybe wrestling. We're going to have quality hockey of some sort. And we're going to have a number of attractions, musical attractions and other attractions, and I think a number of community events. This would be a great place for graduation and other things also. So I think it's really going to be a multi-purpose area to serve the entire community, and that's what we've been needing here for a long time. Speaking of serving the entire community, one of the great things that happened was we had some advocates for people with disabilities check out the plans for this facility and make sure that they didn't just do what was ADA compliant, but what was important that people could use this. So we want to make certain everyone can use this facility, and I think that's been done. The other addition that we have here, more so than other arenas, is the great museums. We're finding actually decent places for the museums and the field house for a number of kids' sports and that type of thing. So we're incorporating the University of Iowa. We're incorporating the the Johnson County Museum, and a number of other museums. So today is the day that we just really can't hide that Coralville pride. Thank you all.
Thank you, Senator Dvorsky, particularly for your tireless commitments to Coralville and the entire state for these past 4 decades. That doesn't mean you're old. That just means you're remarkable. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, this final phase of the Iowa River Landing development, highlighted by the very popular arena and fieldhouse, was made possible by the Iowa Economic Development Authority's Reinvestment District program. Their terrific program manager, Elena Santizo, could not be here to join us today. So we got the next best thing. Her boss, or maybe it's her boss's boss. Anyway, it's the state's director, Debbie Durham. Please welcome me in joining Debbie.
You certainly got that right. Elena did want to be here today, but unfortunately it didn't work. But I am pleased to step in for Elena and be here today. We celebrate the beginning of what I predict to be the crown jewel of the Iowa River Landing Reinvestment District. Don Holbrook, who authored the Little Black Book of Economic Development, said, world-class communities are not determined by geography and or natural resources so much as by the mindset of their local leadership. And that is so true. I want to give credit to the city of Coralville and its community planning and vision committee for being exactly the type of leaders who create world-class places. You took the intent of the Iowa Reinvestment District program to heart. You identified an area that was in serious need of attention, as the mayor said, a floodplain and former brownfield site, and committed to redesigning and redeveloping the area. And as a result, you're turning what used to be an unwelcoming and neglected area right off the interstate into a new gateway for the city and a premier destination for residents and visitors alike. I admire this project for so many reasons. It already is generating and will continue to generate important economic activity, from the business of building the site to the businesses that will be located here. I want to give a special thanks to all the men and women in the trades, and I see my good friend Bill is here, who are making this project possible. We would not have these beautiful facilities to enjoy without the skills of our craftsmen. The kind of attraction attracts better quality of life and opportunity here in Coralville for both permanent residents and students at the University of Iowa. It is so powerful when universities and communities collaborate. The result is a facility that will be like no other in the region, which will allow the University of Iowa and the city to compete for high-profile events that generate tax revenue, draw visitors, and raise the profile of the region and raise the profile of Iowa. In addition to traditional economic development, the tourism benefits of a project like this cannot be underestimated. We know the first barrier to tourism is getting a visitor to stop. This new beautiful arena booked up with events will help that. If you can get a visitor to stay for 2 hours, though, spending doubles. You have that covered with the great retail and dining opportunities already here in the planned museum renovations. But when you get visitors to stay overnight, spending quadruples. In short, congratulations on today's groundbreaking. You are creating a place people want to live, work, and play for years to come. I can't wait to see your vision fully realized, because I just know it's going to be world class. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Your partnership to get to the city to this day, and the hard work by Elena and Dave Bernstein and many others, is much appreciated. It's easy for some to make the mistake by summarizing this reinvestment district as the Arena Project. That would be inaccurate. One just has to look around to see this reinvestment district taking shape. The Iowa Reinvestment District includes 9 projects totaling more than $190 million worth of development for this community and our state. The Drury Inn up the road is under construction. Watts Development just completed his 3rd mixed-use development. Mike Hodge and Lincoln McElravy and Lisa McElravy are underway with the arena schedule. It's an exciting time for the Iowa River Landing and an incredible public-private partnership that has made it all happen. Before I bring up our next speaker, I quickly want to acknowledge Representative Dave Jacoby and Iowa City Council member Kingsley Botchway, who also are joining us here today. Our next speaker joins us today from Iowa Business Growth and represents another incredibly important component to getting the city here today, that being the $14 million new market tax credit allocation that ArenaCo received last year. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rand Fisher.
Thank you. I'll take pity on all of you out there in the sun, and I'll make this ever so quick. I'm going to just start with a personal story. It goes that this is coincidental for me. 40 years ago, at this very time of year, I graduated from the University of Iowa, go Hawks, with a master's degree in public administration, and we studied things like public finance, urban planning, all of the tools and things that people like you need to bring together to make transformative projects like this happen. I can tell you, no one in my graduate classes would have ever predicted or seen or even grabbed a scratch book and outlined the kind of activity and progress and, again, catalytic transformation that has taken place in this little area. They wouldn't have been able to do that 40 years ago, 30, 25, 10, you name it. This has just been a remarkable catalytic project for this area. On behalf of my colleagues at Iowa Community Development and on behalf of our administrative team at Iowa Business Growth, I just want to commend the city and all of the folks involved in this project. There was a time when Kelly and I met and I said there's an obscure tool called new market tax credits. It's not widely known. I will tell you from the onset, it is very difficult and hard to use. It'll take all of your abilities and sophistication in Coralville and beyond to really put this tool to work for you. And he said, we're game. We talked about putting it in his hip pocket and saving it for just the right project within this corridor. And so again, on behalf of all of us who have worked so hard to bring this federal tool to our state so that it could be a part of projects like this, I want to commend all of you. We talk a lot about economic development tools, but Director Durham nailed it when she said all of those things which help fill gaps and help, hopefully, a little bit in a catalytic way or a linchpin or just move the project ahead during difficult times. But the real salute goes to all of you folks for your passion, your commitment, your vision for a project like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rand. In addition to Iowa Business Growth, the city wishes to recognize several other important financial partners that are here today. Those include members from the teams of West Bank and Great Western Bank who have assisted with that new market tax credit allocation and other necessary financing needs. Thank you for your continued support and confidence you have in this development and in the city of Coralville. Our next speaker truly does need no introduction, not to any Hawkeye fans anyway. The ongoing relationship between the city and the university is arguably one of the most important. Same goes for the relationship between our CVB and UI Athletics. Gary Barda began at the University of Iowa on August 1st, 2006, and I think Kelly and myself and Bob and former Mayor Fawcett and a few others were in his office maybe the next day, bringing him up to speed on the Iowa River Landing and the Arena project. Please join me in welcoming the Henry B. and Patricia Bree Tippie Director of Athletics Chair, Gary Barda.
Wow, what a great crowd. I knew this day would come, and it's not what he's talking about. It's when our spring sports were playing this spring in snow and ice and sleet, and we were all complaining about the weather. I knew the day would come where we'd complain about it being too hot, so this is officially the day. Wow, what an exciting afternoon. What an exciting day. I want you to know that I'm appreciative of being the person at the University of Iowa who was invited and asked to represent the Hawkeyes. One of the things I can tell you, we did arrive in 2006. Every one of us, from the president's office on down, realizes what a privilege it is to work in this great community, in this wonderful state, and to be a part of these partnerships that Josh was talking about. In 2006, two things that I can tell you. Yes, my family and I arrived, and it's been a wonderful ride. Yes, Josh and Kelly and some others were in my office talking about this arena concept. And the other thing that I remember about 2006, none of this was here. This vision, the Marriott was not yet here. This vision that Kelly and the team had in mind, it was a big dream. It was amazing. I'm not going to say I doubted it, because I didn't doubt it, but I wondered at what point we would start to realize it. We would start to see it. Once the Marriott went up, and then we started seeing the restaurants and the hotels, wow. We have a saying in the athletic department, vision without resources is irrelevant. So first you have the vision, then you have to make it relevant. And you've heard from all the partners that have helped make this incredible area and now this Arena Conference Center a reality. From the University of Iowa's perspective, I see Bond Szymanski is here, our women's volleyball coach. One of the things when I hired Bond, I knew that, and he knew that he was coming into the most competitive volleyball conference in America. Annually, the top 6 or 7 teams in the country are in the Big Ten. And one of the things we talked about is growing this program, creating a foundation. He's done that. We continue to improve and get better. When this arena concept started to develop, we talked about having a home competition site. We'll remain in Carver every day for training in our offices because we have all of our infrastructure there. But he envisioned someday having schools like Penn State and Nebraska walk in to the University of Iowa's home arena and say, wow, we better watch out. The Hawkeyes are coming. And that's exactly, starting in 2020, that's exactly what this new arena is going to provide for us. In addition to that, we've talked about some other events. Stay tuned on what events those might be with some of our other sports. We do know that sometimes on those weekends it becomes so compact around Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena that having this outlet and having some of our other teams have access is going to be amazing. And finally, that partnership that Josh mentioned. It's been amazing during my time to watch, whether it's Herky on Parade, it's the Hawkeye Express, Olympic Trials, on and on and on, all the things. Fry Fest, which you'll be hearing more about tomorrow. Come on back for another press conference then. But all those partnerships and just the amazing opportunity to watch this community grow. And I have a different slant on the community growth. Every time another house is built, every time an arena is built, another restaurant, another hotel, I envision more season ticket holders coming into our community. Thank you. Go Hawks.
Thank you, Gary, for being here. Again, for those of you who are late, there's still bottled water up here. I can promise you it's as hot up here as it is back there. Again, thank you, Gary, for being here and for celebrating the city of Coralville on this milestone day. And thanks to Coach Szymanski for also being here. Having run into Coach dozens of times over these past few years, I know just how excited he is and his staff for the opportunity that this arena will bring to their program. Again, it's not just an arena project, though. From the beginning, the plan has always included a permanent home to some of our community's most cherished attractions. The completion of this development will provide a permanent home to almost a third additional space to the Johnson County Historical Society Museum and their partners at the Antique Auto Museum and the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club. Here to say a few words is the Executive Director of the Historical Society Museum, and you just got married, right? So I had to change your name. Alex McKendry.
Wow, well, this is just amazing. In my time working for the Historical Society, it's been 6 years now. When I started, we were going to be told that we were going to be given a new building eventually, and we're finally getting close to that point. So pardon me if I'm shaky and just super excited. I also have the pleasure to represent all of the museums involved in our group, both the JCHS, the Antique Car Museum of Iowa, and the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club. Along with our museums, we pride ourselves as being the cultural and historical aspect of the Iowa River Landing and now the Iowa Arena Project. We look forward to continuing our mission in preserving and interpreting the history of Johnson County in this new location that will allow us to expand on our exhibits, our collections, our membership, supporters. There's so many of you here today. It's so great to see all of you folks here, supporting this project and supporting the whole thing. For organizations such as ours, being nonprofits, this is an amazing opportunity to showcase what we do and share the history and really just showcase what we do every day, all the time. I want to say thank you to all that have supported us. Again, I kind of already said that, but our members, volunteers, staff, board of directors, that have helped us come to where we are today and get us involved in the Iowa River Landing and this project. I also want to thank the City of Coralville and their counselors, Kelly Hayworth and Josh, for pushing really hard to get us a part of this program and getting us a new permanent home, and the Johnson County Board of Supervisors, who have supported us all the way as well. That's all I have to say, and I just want to say thank you, and we're really excited to be a part of this project.
Thank you, Alex. As has been mentioned a few times, this museum space was not only made possible by Coralville, but our friends at Johnson County. Thanks to the leadership of Supervisor Janelle Rettig and Rod Sullivan in particular, the Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to invest $200,000 into the Johnson County Historical Society Museum, which assisted greatly in procuring that $12 million Reinvestment District state grant. Thank you to Janelle and Rod and the entire county for their continued commitment to the Historical Society and the area quality of life through development of this reinvestment district. While the arena will be owned by ArenaCo, a nonprofit development corporation representing the city of Coralville, it will be operated by Spectra, by Comcast Spectacor. Spectra operates over 165 arenas and venues around the world, including nearby Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. And they recently took over management of the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City. The city is excited to welcome Spectra and to introduce the brand new general manager for the Iowa Arena and Fieldhouse to all of you today. Brian Hicksonball comes to us from managing the CFE Arena on the campus of the University of Central Florida. He's an Iowa native, and although he made the grave mistake of attending that other school, we're glad to have him here and officially wearing the black and gold. Please join me in welcoming the Iowa Arena General Manager, Brian Hicksonball.
All righty, Josh ripped the Band-Aid off for me. I am an Iowa State grad. I check off most of the other boxes, so I am a native Iowan. I grew up in Knoxville. It's about an hour and 45 minutes away, and I'm just thrilled to be back in town, in state, and part of this project. Do want to take a minute to thank a lot of the people that have already been thanked, but certainly all of the partners that have made this arena project possible. City of Coralville, Mayor Lundell, City Council, I see you guys out there. And I really want to recognize Josh and Kelly. I know it's repetitive, but these guys have really spearheaded the project and got us to where we are today. As Josh mentioned, I'm fortunate enough to be the general manager representing Spectra. He stole some of my thunder. We do have a footprint here in Iowa already, the Iowa Event Center, as well as the Tyson Event Center and the Orpheum Theater in Sioux City. We have been hired as the management company to operate the day-to-day activities here at the arena. I think through a collaboration and a combining of resources between all of our accounts, I think there's a real immediate and lasting impact that we're going to be able to provide the community of Coralville. We recognize we want to do our part in making the river landing a destination, a premier destination that everybody wants to come to, not just the community, but the surrounding areas as well. We recognize that part of that is that the arena and the Fieldhouse have to be economic drivers, and we're prepared and ready to accept that challenge. We want folks to eat, sleep, play, do everything else here. One-stop shop. Part of making that happen is through expanding our relationships, both locally, regionally, nationally, with promoters and other event folks, and certainly reaching out to the community. I mean, it's been mentioned, we want this to be a community-driven programming facility. We want everybody to be comfortable here, and would love to see you all come out. We just heard Mr. Barda talk about the University of Iowa Volleyball. They're going to be one of our tenants. We expect to have a hockey tenant. We expect to do multiple concerts every year. We expect to do family shows. I know we've talked many times, we expect to be a major player in the amateur sports, particularly in the Fieldhouse and what we can do in there. And then really, anything else that seems like a good fit for the market, we're going to put in both buildings. we're looking forward. We're going to hire about 15 to 20 full-time positions, 200 plus part-time positions, and that's really where we're going to need the community support. I mean, we're going to need quality people to come service those positions. There's going to be positions in marketing, finance, the box office, events, and operations. And I would like to talk about one of our operational partners we're going to have at the arena. It's going to be Airmark. They're going to provide the food and beverage service for us, so concessions and catering. They're already in the Iowa City community. They work at all the U of I athletic facilities already and service those. So really look forward to working with them and getting on board. I guess in closing, I really am thrilled to be back home, part of this opportunity, and just growing with everyone here as part of this project and really making a cornerstone of what we're doing here in the River Landing. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Just as important and exciting as the arena for this community and state will be the connected 53,000 square foot fieldhouse, which is a long overdue community asset. As the Marriott Hotel Conference Center began with the attraction of large-scale conferences and special events, this fieldhouse will bring thousands of amateur athletes to our community each year for tournaments, camps, and other sports opportunities. Here to say a few words about what this particular venue will mean for our community is Clair Overton. Miss Overton is a junior at West High School and the front row hitter for West Varsity Volleyball. One of, or are you the? No, you're one of. Probably the. During club volleyball season, Claire plays for the Iowa Rockets, based here locally, but travels throughout the Midwest. Claire has already committed, sorry, Bon, she's already committed to play collegiate sand volleyball at the University of Tampa. Please join me in welcoming Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire, and I do play on the Iowa Rockets. I'm a junior at West High, as Mr. Schamberger said. And as I've played on the Iowa Rockets girls volleyball team, we have had girls who've traveled 2+ hours to practice every day. And with having the sports center here, I feel that they will think that it's way worth their drive to come play. And with having more courts there, like 5 courts, I've had 5 teams on 3 courts playing, but with that, we'd be able to have all 5 teams on separate courts focusing on their specific skills. And with having that, you have the testing center to test your performance, and you can also help athletes recover from injuries, which is super common in volleyball, ACL tears, sprained ankles, everything. And as my Iowa Rockets team has had tournaments here in the Iowa City area, we've tried to find courts to play on that are available from Iowa City to Coralville to North Liberty. But with having the center here, you can have 14 courts, so we can host a bigger tournament, getting higher quality teams and more competitive teams to play with. Overall, I'm super excited to have this facility here in Iowa City, similar to ones that I've traveled 4 hours to play volleyball. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Claire, and we wish you continued success at West this year and next, and ultimately on the sand down in Tampa. Our final speaker is one of the greatest athletes to ever attend the University of Iowa. And that's not just because I'm a big wrestling fan. He is truly one of the greatest athletes to ever attend the University of Iowa. He and his family are also some of the area's greatest hotel owner-operators in Coralville, but also in Des Moines and Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln and Lisa McElravy will build the connected 100-room Staybridge Suites hotel as part of the Iowa River Landing Reinvestment District. Here to say a few words is the greatest wrestler of all time, Lincoln McElravy.
Well, I did have a little bit of wrestling success, but I have to say I never had an opponent like Josh or Kelly, and the tenacity that these two guys bring to a project like this. This is an overwhelming project, and if you haven't done construction before, this is a very complex project as well. And these guys have approached it with incredible tenacity. And I think if you had some eligibility left, Iowa Wrestling would be looking at both you guys, Kelly, as examples of how to approach a great task. And this is a great task. And when you look at the task at hand and you look at the results will be the byproduct. And the arena when it's done, our hotel when it's done, and all the projects here, they're the byproduct of incredible amounts of hard work and the right people in the right places. And I really want to commend these guys. And their names have been said over and over again, but the amount that they bring to this project is overwhelming. And I know Josh works half days. He works about 12 hours a day. So, and Kelly the same. And second, I want to thank my wife, Lisa. These projects take a lot of time. They take a lot of energy, a lot of heart, and you only have so much of that. And sometimes you come up a little short in other areas as you come into something like this. So my wife's very patient and very supportive. I appreciate all of her help on this stuff. Third, I want to thank any of our team members from Serve 2028. Put a hand up, anybody that's out there. I think some are up here. Some are back here. Josh mentioned we're great hotel operators, and honestly, we've got just fantastic people. We're so blessed and so grateful to have them with us, and they're the reason that we've had success. And last, talked a little bit about the complexity of this project. I want to thank Jason Imhoff with Aspire Construction. He'll be our construction manager on the project, and when I think of the word expert, I think of Jason Imhoff and his team. They just bring tremendous professionalism and expertise to a very complicated, very difficult, but it's going to be a very rewarding project. We're thrilled to be here. We think it's going to be amazing. And I'm looking at this dirt, and I've learned too much about construction. I think this soil has too much organic material in it to build on. We're going to have to over-excavate here and bring in some other soil now. So I'm ready to move some dirt. You guys? Thank you.
Thank you, Lincoln. He knows what a big wrestling fan is, so he knows I was going to go overboard. As we bring this groundbreaking to a close, applause for that for the son in the back. All right, well, as we bring this groundbreaking to a close, I want to echo the mayor's appreciation of Coralville City Administrator Kelly Hayworth. Kelly is much to credit for Coralville's growth and development over these past 30 years, as much to credit as anyone, and he continues to inspire the rest of us. His staff, our CVB, his peers around the county, around the state, by his hard work and his commitment to making this community and this state shine. Michael, you got a good dad, so there you go. Thank you, Kelly. There are two things I want to leave you with before we conclude. Excuse me. While the mayor and council has shown tremendous confidence in this development and the larger team's ability to exceed all expectations, there is still work to do. The city and ArenaCo still have sponsorship and philanthropic opportunities available. And when complete, this will be a tremendous addition to the quality of life we all enjoy here in Coralville, Iowa City, and North Liberty. We've recently finalized a naming rights agreement with an Iowa company. It won't be called the Iowa Arena, at least will for a short period of time. It will be called something else, and we will announce that soon. But other opportunities still do exist, including a seats campaign that will launch as of tomorrow. So please don't hesitate to reach out and ask us how you can get involved in making this development be the longtime community betterment attractor that it will be. Number two, please join city leadership across the street in the lower level of the Watts Development's newest addition, the Iowa River Landing and the state's Reinvestment District newest addition, the Madison space, which has nothing to do with Bucky or the Badgers. It's actually labeled as Project G for those of you following at home in your Iowa State Reinvestment District program application. We will now attempt several groundbreaking photos here, and I think you all know who and which you're a part of. So if we could make a little room for the media and the photographers, that would be great. Again, thank you all for being here. One more terrific round of applause for the city of Coralville on today's day.